What's up, everybody? This is Jube from Section 116 on ArgosEndzone.com, and it's time for Week 8 action as the Argos travel to Montreal to take on the Alouettes. As always, click the Show More button on the YouTube channel, jump to the chapter you want to see, we'll get things rolling, look back at what happened last week. Your Argos lost a tough one at home last week to the Calgary Stampeders. The final score didn't really give an example of what the game was like, as the Argos scored a late touchdown in garbage time to make it look a lot closer on the scoreboard than it really was for those that were watching the game. I mean, a tip of the cap to the Calgary Stampeders. They played really well in all three facets of the game and were just played better. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. As an Argos fan, I mean, it was frustrating, but I can still recognize that one team just played really well. Not that Toronto played poorly, just that Calgary was so strong. The other side of this game, of course, is all the injuries that the Argos resulted from it. Of course, the big one is quarterback Ricky Ray. Early reports had a separated shoulder. Now it's just a shoulder contusion. Either way, he's out here. He's out for Week 8. We'll see how things go in the next chapter. We'll discuss that a little bit more. But the Argos also have big defensive Canadian losses with safety Jermaine Gabriel and defensive lineman Cleon Lang both going down. So it was a loss on and off the field, shall we say. And, well, as they say, nowhere to go from up. The good news, though, the only losses the Argos have so far in the season are against Western Conference teams. So, I mean, as long as they sweep the East, they're still going to be first. The Argos travel to Montreal to take on the Alouettes here in Week 8 action. Of course, the big story so far has got to be that starting quarterback Ricky Ray is out for this week's game. The ball will now be in the hands of Jeff Mathews, who apparently has some experience with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Trestman gave him the start. The scouting report is he's much closer to Ricky Ray than the number 2 quarterback, Fadju, I pronounce it wrong every time, who's more of a scrambler that was able to do some things against Calgary there at the end of the game. But Mathews is considered to be more of a traditional drop-back quarterback, which is what the offensive line is used to blocking for. So it should be an easier transition in that sense. I mean, you don't replace a Ricky Ray, let's be honest, but it should be much easier on the offensive line and the blocking schemes compared to a rollout scrambling quarterback that you may see otherwise. The other story being how many former Alouettes now in double blue making a return. So it starts at the top, of course, with general manager Jim Popp, head coach Mark Trestman. You've got slapback S.J. Green, linebacker Bear Woods. I know I'm forgetting some people, and I apologize, but there's been this mass exodus this past offseason of Montreal coming into Toronto and now coming back the other way. It would be interesting to see how the hometown crowd receives these players and coaching staff, because there's some people that played a huge role in that team winning some Grey Cups. Aside from that, of course, Montreal's a totally different team with those guys gone. They've put in players such as Darian Durant at quarterback, which is a different chemistry than what the Argos would have seen when he was in Saskatchewan. So, everyone talks about Thick Nick Lewis because, hey, he's fun to watch, all right? A guy that big shouldn't be able to move that well, catching that many passes for that long, over 1,000 receptions in his career. So that's what's going to happen there on that offensive side of the ball for Montreal is the Durant, Lewis. They've got other receivers, but those are always guys that come to mind. You gotta respect the veterans, right? And yeah, it's going to be, again, it's going to be interesting what happens when the Argos have got the ball, just seeing what type of schemes they're going to come up with. Yeah, let's find out. So who should you be watching for this week? On offense, I mean, it'd be really easy to say Jeff Mathews because that's just really easy. Of course, you're going to be watching what the new quarterback does. So for myself, I'm actually going to be watching for number 3, Brandon Whitaker, the running back. As I said before, what he does as a running back is so many facets that can help make a quarterback feel more comfortable. Obviously, a running back that can gain yards on the ground makes a quarterback feel more comfortable because it keeps the defense on edge. But Whitaker also does a great job of taking passes out of the backfield as a safety outlet for screens and short out patterns, or circle routes if you want to call them. And also is fantastic at picking up the blitz as an additional blocker. And that's the type of thing that gives a quarterback a ton of confidence when you have to be looking over his shoulder, wondering where that backside blitzer is coming from when you got a running back that can take care of that guy. So I think that the Argos are going to go as far this week as Brandon Whitaker is able to contribute with and without the ball. And on defense, I'm looking at number 39, Bat Black. The Canadian native and career Argonaut was actually released earlier this week and was then signed back after it was revealed the injury to Jermaine Gabriel. So Matt Black is going to slot right into the starting position. It's been quite a week for Mr. Matt Black. I'm a big fan myself. If you follow him on social media, and you really should, he replies to all the tweets to him and does not beat around the bush on his feelings on anything on or off the field. He's a great follow. Follow him on Twitter. And keep an eye on him this week as with the Argos in Montreal. So once again, on offense, keep an eye on number 3, running back Brandon Whitaker. On defense, number 39, safety Matt Black. When it comes to prediction this week, it feels like week 1 because we don't know what the Argonauts are going to bring to the table. With the injuries that they've had and new players they've had to plug into these positions, it's going to feel like coming off a preseason game. We don't know what type of Toronto Argonaut team is going to come on the field. Montreal, of course, is much more consistent. They've been able to move the ball and got a couple wins together. I should have checked the stands before I actually got on here, but this could be considered a battle for first place in the East, especially with Montreal having the return match in Toronto a week from Saturday. But yeah, I mean, you guys come to me for these always well-informed opinions on what the score is going to be. Almost got that out with a straight face. So, again, still a homer. Argos are winning this one, and they're going to win a tight one. They're going to win 21-17. Okay? So, she'll be a tight one, 21-17. It's going to still be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to watching this one quite a bit. That wraps things up for another week. Hope you had some fun. As always, feel free to like, comment, and share on this video. And, yeah, please leave some comments. Let us know what you like and you didn't like, as long as it doesn't pertain to Jeeps. Try to keep it more CFL and Argos conversation. Be great. And follow us on our social media feeds. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, on YouTube. Of course, check out the home office at the Toronto Argos Endzone website, argosendzone.com. And, yeah, so it's a 7:30 kickoff. Friday night football tonight. So make sure you tune in. If you can get to Montreal, I've heard that's a great town. Haven't been yet. It's on the bucket list. But otherwise, get yourself in front of a TV. A quick point about next week's Argonauts game. If you check out the hashtag Operation Sellout on Twitter, the Argos fans are working really, really hard to get more fans out to the game. What you've got, of course, I believe the CNE gets kicked off. It starts off as well, so your Argos ticket gets you free admission to CNE. They got discounted tickets for couples, groups, families, up in the upper decks there. It's a great night out. If you've not been to BMO, you really got to go check it out. The evening games are fantastic. What you got is, when the sun goes down, the lights come on. It's gorgeous. It gets you into the CNE. You don't have to worry about parking because they've got the tailgate. Well, no, I guess the tailgate might not be happening. I'll find out about the tailgate for next week. But either way, you got the GO train coming right in there. But yeah, hashtag Operation Sellout. What we're going to do is we're going to prove that the Toronto Argonaut fans are there en masse and can sell that building out. So make sure you come out for next week. But for this week, don't show up to BMO this weekend. You're going to be sorely disappointed. But next week, make sure you're there. This week, what you want to do is get in front of a TV if you can't be in Montreal and cheer in your double booth from home. Alrighty? So, until next time, this is Jube from Section 116 at argosendzone.com. Reminding you to ride the rail. Ride apart.